Good Purim, everybody. Here are the mitzvot of the festival. First of all, the Megillah. I love my Megillah, and I love reading it. It's such a subtle, it's a real polytext. That moment when Achashverosh says to Haman, okay then, kach et hasus vetalvush, take the horse, take the garments, do exactly what you say. Pause when you read to Mordechai, the Jew, the one you hate. Doesn't quite say that in the Megillah. The most obvious mitzvah of the Megillah is to read it evening and morning with the brachot al mikra Megillah for the reading of the Megillah, for the miracles worked for ancestors, and the Shechianu bracha according to Ashkenazi custom in the morning as well. And if there's something that screams out from the Megillah, it is kind of halfway through. It is that verse when Mordechai has the message passed to Esther, Im hacharesh tacharishi ba'et hazot. You cannot be silent now. And that's what I feel about Purim in this coronavirus year. It's not too serious though. One needs one's humor, and I borrow my wife's hat. Shall I try this one or that one? Or maybe this one. It's more Hasidic. I dressed as a mezuzah case last year, being a kind of nutcase. But hacharesh tacharishi is about reaching out. And it's matanot le'evyonim. It's at least 2 gifts to 2 people who need. And need now is in our society. It's our hospitals. It's those at the forefront of our care workers, those stacking our supermarket shelves, those who still have to work and cannot work at home. There's so much of it. And there's also ish l're'ehu, each person caring for their fellow human being with gifts of food, at least 2 kinds of food to one person. And here in front of me, I've got, I like this one because this is shelter chocolate. Half of it is really fair trade chocolate, and the other half is shelter, which means it goes to the homeless who they're so vulnerable now, and so is our society. And although I'm born in Scotland, I'm not a whiskey drinker, but I'm packing these away and seeing so many people have got puppies in our community. I think for my friends, I'll stick in a few of these as well. They're treat boxes for your dogs as well, so that all the family can rejoice on Purim. But most of all, don't be silent now. This is a time to reach out. I've asked for people to leave on my doorstep matanot le. I don't know whether it is to our fellows or to those who need, but I want to take gifts to people working in our hospitals. That's what matters to me this Purim. And to reach out throughout our society and to take im hacharesh tacharishi. Don't be silent now, right through forward into the year. Wishing you a great Purim.
When you're a child, people read to you. In my family, we still do what we call a bedtime for our 10-year-old. He's our youngest child and an avid reader, so I suspect that the days of reading to him are coming to an end. In Jewish life, however, we allow ourselves to be read to for our whole lives. When you're a Jew, people read the same stories to you again and again, and those stories are incorporated into who you are. Every week, we listen to the parasha. Every Pesach, we read and talk about the Exodus, Yetziat Mitzrayim. And every Chag, we read a Megillah. All the Megillot are precious, but the reading of Megillat Esther on Purim is fun. There's a carnival atmosphere. People come in Purim costumes. But we have to be quiet enough to hear the Megillah. So we calm down, we stand for the brachot, and we settle down. And things are peaceful during the first 2 chapters. A couple of verses are read in the very sad Echa melody, which everyone loves. And when Mordechai first appears, there's some audience participation with the Kihila, announcing Mordechai's entrance before the reader. But at chapter 3, the pent-up craziness erupts with the mentions of Haman. A toddler bursts out crying at the noise and has to be taken out of the room. Someone always brings a weird musical instrument or an alarm clock as their Ra'ashan. It's really funny, and then it starts to wear thin a bit. There's only one Haman in chapter 4, but a bunch more in subsequent chapters. And towards the end of the book, the sons of Haman, all 10 of them, are uttered in one breath by the reader. And soon after that, the Hamans are done. To be honest, the story is a bit dull by this stage. The comedy and the excitement are over. And then there's the mention of a massacre, always a bit of a downer. Last Purim was perhaps the last time we were out celebrating, having fun in public with a crowd. This year, we'll do the mitzvah of Mikra Megillah safely, tamely, from our homes. Purim is meant to be wild and crazy, and it will be again. But our experience of this year's COVID Megillah will be part of what we experience every time we hear the Megillah for the rest of our lives. Chag Purim Sameach.
Öröm, család, játék, hedonizmus, feminizmus, szórakozás.
פורים זה הזמן שמזכיר לנו שגם כשקשה, תמיד צריך לשמוח.
Me preguntas qué es Purim en 5 palabras. Alegría, resiliencia, amor, tradición y resistencia.
Para mí Purim es ayuno, misericordia del Eterno, victoria y celebración. Hag Sameach desde Noam, Perú.
Para mí, Purim es lucha, ideales, identidad, esperanza y alegría. Hag Sameach para todos desde Argentina.
Purim es искусство.
Por suerte estamos juntos. Purim!
Shalom, this is Moshe from Kenya. What is Purim? Celebration of Jewish victory.
Another enemy defeated? Let's celebrate.
Purim. Die Welt steht auf dem Kopf.
Chag Purim Sameach. Estamos frente a Purim. Purim, desde mi punto de vista, es una fiesta que nos invita a pensarnos en nuestra identidad. Toda la fiesta, todos los contenidos nos hacen pensar quiénes somos. La Megilá, sin la presencia de Dios, cada uno de los personajes que cambia su nombre por un nombre distinto, las máscaras, el vino, y justamente en estos días de tanta incertidumbre y de momentos tan difíciles que pasamos como humanidad, lo más importante es saber quiénes somos, cuáles son nuestras raíces y nuestra identidad. El movimiento Masorti Olamí te invita a acercarte a las fuentes, festejar Purim como judíos Masortim orgullosos. Chag Purim Sameach.
Purim es sonrisas, es baile, es juego, es música, es canto. Purim es recuerdos sin olvidar. Purim es la búsqueda de que en los momentos de dolor, de depresión, de angustia, uno encuentra las herramientas de resiliencia juntos como pueblo para salir a pelear, a luchar y a fortalecer la continuidad.
Purim yembaga, yensanyuka, ne nyambara, ne chusa engwe, ne fule muntu atali amagatte bantegeera, kuga nenywa nendya, tuba mbasanyu kuganga eri awo teriko kwakulizo enyumira. Purim Sameach.
Hello, bonjour, Shalom Aleichem, c'est Simon de Marom Paris. En quoi Purim est différent des autres jours? Toute l'année. Ces solutions alcooliques. À Purim, ces solutions alcooliques. Les Chaim, les Purim Sameach.